Hello, my cute, cuddly Cancers. Welcome, welcome. It is Sachi the Scorpio, and I'm here to deliver your guided healing tarot for the month of May. Please like, comment, and subscribe. The more energy that you send to me, the more energy that I can send to you. And thank you so much for all of your likes and support on this channel, Cancer. Saving best for last, some may say. And just a reminder that the top 3 videos that get the most likes also get a twin flame bonus and also get some promo codes for the extended as well. So if it resonates, hit that like button. All right, so let's hop into it. This is what came out in the cleansing ceremony, Cancer. We had Black Moon Lilith mystery. Okay, so it's interesting that, you know, the card says mystery on it because Black Moon Lilith is not necessarily a mystery, right? Black Moon Lilith is a placement in our charts that represents our autonomous divine feminine creative potential. And it's about the divine feminine on their own, right? So, you know, creation, if you look at the ancient texts, right, Yahweh or the creator God, whatever you want to call it, created Adam and Lilith at the same time, equally, both from dust. Lilith refused to submit to Adam. She actually refused to lay under him, okay? And she left the garden by her own free will. She then became, you know, she was able to have children on her own. Judeo-Christian mythology call her the mother of demons because, of course, a woman creating on her own, it must be demonic, right? Of course, that's facetious. And then, of course, you know, Yahweh for Adam because he needed a counterpart in order to create, made a subservient feminine from his ribcage, right? Through genetic engineering or whatever it may be. So, anyway, Black Moon Lilith, you know, describes the darker aspect of the divine feminine, sort of that the aspect of Lilith that is like, okay, I can create and I don't need a masculine counterpart. I can be fine on my own. I can do this by myself. Black Moon Lilith can also, like in our natal charts, can indicate some of our more like sexual taboos or even our like abandonment wound as it relates to divine feminine energy, kind of like how Saturn can relate to the divine masculine or father. But anyway, so it looks like you are getting more into your divine feminine autonomy, Cancer, and that is great. And I just want to let you know that, you know, when I read for Cancers, I typically, because you are the sign of the divine feminine, right? You are the divine mother, just as Capricorn is the divine masculine, the divine father. I tend to channel this for the collective of the divine feminines, and same can be said about the divine masculines for Capricorn, and then for Twin Flame Collective for Gemini. So if, you know, those resonate with you, please do check them out. But it looks like you are getting into what some might call the mysteries, but really they're not mysteries, right? The patriarchy has put divine feminine empowerment down. There is not a lot that are taught about goddesses in a lot of Western traditions, right? So it looks like that is something that you are getting more into, whether you're actually researching it or just embodying it. Okay, and then we have the 9th house with faith in reverse. So it's telling me that you still are lacking some sort of faith in things, and it might be because, again, like the divine feminine empowerment is still within under the guise of a patriarchal standard, if that makes sense, right? It's still coming from that sort of tradition because the 9th house can, I mean, you could say it rules faith, but it rules like our philosophies and our aspects of, you know, what we've learned about spirituality, what we've learned about religion, what we've learned about culture, you know, all of these things that sort of imprint on us that rule our perception. So it looks like, you know, even though you seem to be a divine feminine creating on their own, it seems to be lacking a connection to faith and spirit itself almost. Not that you don't have a spiritual belief, but it doesn't, it feels like it needs like one step up in like the cognitive functioning of truly understanding how things work as a divine feminine, if that makes sense. And I don't mean that in a rude way, but I'm just feeling kind of that mental blockage of like, yeah, okay, well, how do I do that? I can't have a baby by myself. You know what I mean? But like, of course, not an actual baby. You know, a spirit baby can be, you know, a business or a piece of art or whatever it may be, right? So Anyway, before I get too lost in that, so some of you might be going down maybe some rabbit holes as well. We had the crone come out, which is beautiful, okay? So one of the things about divine feminine empowerment is to respect the crone, right? Society has taught us, you know, to only praise the maiden, right? Oh, feminines need to be youthful and playful and sexy and fuckable. Oh my goodness, Cancer. And, you know, the mother is respected to a certain extent, but still a thankless job, right? Considered some sort of like damaged goods or whatever it may be, you know, and then by the time you're the crone, you're kind of worthless, right? It's like, wow, I'm picking up on a lot of crazy energy. There's this energy of like, you know, let the old people die sort of thing, okay? And as a divine feminine, you know to respect the crone, and it feels like you're truly understanding the wisdom of the elders and what can be understood through people who are crones, you know, and it feels like this is where you want to be. You want to end up being the wise old crone, and you're understanding that as a divine feminine, eventually you will get there. This is some pretty heavy Leo energy, so I feel like your solar plexus could be, I heard getting tired, but it is getting strengthened. Okay, and then we have the battle wagon. So again, there is this aspect of like war, right? And I mean, look at our world right now. There, you know, a lot of signs got the battle wagon, especially Aries. If you're interested in kind of understanding what is going on with Aries energy, because we have Chiron there, please check out the Aries reading. But the battle wagon, you know, this is your card as the Chariot, right? Which is moving forward, okay? But what's moving forward is the fight. And it feels like you are willing to fight for the divine feminine in all of its forms, maiden, mother, and crone. It's not just focused on this Eve. You're enacting your divine feminine autonomy as a Lilith. And like, even if I get old, so be it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fine doing that, and I'm going to fight for what is right. And then we had the witch come out. So Cancer, it looks like some of you are learning how to manifest. Some of you may be learning about witchcraft or Wicca. And again, you know, witch has been very demonized and, you know, put in an evil light, but witchcraft is not evil, right? There are some types of evil witchcraft. You know what I mean? Just like there are some evil types of Judeo-Christian philosophies or any sort of ideologies, right? But witchcraft inherently is connecting to Mother Gaia, to Mother Earth, and, you know, using plants and animals in a way that are healthy for us, for the planet, for our ancestors, and things like that, right? Like, cooking is witchcraft. Whether you like it or not, it is, you know? The intention that you're putting in the food is the spell. So anyway, and some of you, you know, Cancer, you are known as the witch in the zodiac. And so it is natural for you to kind of get into this, especially if you, I'm hearing like a lot of you are getting into kitchen witching or like cleanliness spells, like turning like your shower into a spell, turning your like makeup routine into a spell, turning when you sweep the floor into a spell, right? All you have to do is put an intention in it. And I feel like that's it. You're putting more intention into this, but it's still, there's something missing is what I'm feeling. We have water energy coming out in reverse. So this is telling me that your emotions are a little bit upside down. The emotional body is not necessarily where you want it to be. There could be also be some blockages in the throat chakra. Then we had Duskull using sneaky placement. So there's something in your third eye that is still lingering there. It feels like a ghost in the past. And with Amungus using strange reaction, it does look like your heart chakra is having a strange reaction to whatever this is. And it seems to be a fairy type thing, which has to do with a soulmate relationship that you have with someone. Okay. So Cancer, that's what came out in the cleansing ceremony. Quite the spiel. So this month we are going to be looking into, so happy Taurus season, by the way, right? We're going to look into where you are right now, and then what is your long-term goal. And then in the extended, we're going to see how you get to your long-term goal. Just going to leave it open-ended because everyone's path is different. It's best to go at your own pace. That is what Taurus teaches us. Going at your own pace is always the way to go because you will always get there and it will get done right, right? So let us see for our Cancers. Where are they right now? That was fast. coming out stuck, moon, soul. So, you know, moon is your ruling planet, right? Ruling celestial body. So it seems like you are very in tune with your emotions, and you are really focused on your soul, the health of your soul. Okay. And again, I'm feeling that this is very like autonomous, like, okay, it's me and the moon. It's me and the moon is what I'm hearing. Woo! Sagittarius, I see Sun, Spirit, and Mercury retrograde reinvention. So it seems like you are starting to actually understand Spirit. You really are, right? Sagittarius, that's that 9th house that was in reverse, right? So it feels like you're having a perception shift, even though your faith is either being tested or you have a lack of faith. But you are starting to see things, right? Like the Sagittarius is, I forgot to mention, I saw Jupiter returns come out during the cleansing ceremony, but it didn't want to like come out. So some of you might have a Jupiter in Pisces today. Jupiter's moving to Pisces. It is going to retrograde in mid-July back into Aquarius. So if you have Jupiter in Aquarius or Pisces, you better know, because now is the time to manifest and help with your perception shifts. Okay. Anyway, so right, Sagittarius's ruler is Jupiter. So we have Sagittarius, I see. So it does feel like some sort of perception shift about how you are viewing your spirit. And again, it feels like because you are getting more in tune with your soul and more in tune with your emotional body as well. Okay. You're starting to see. You don't necessarily have that faith yet, but you are starting to see. You are. We have Mercury retrograde reinvention. So it looks like, you know, we have Mercury retrograde that is coming up in Gemini in just a couple weeks. Today is the first day of the shadow period, right? Mercury retrogrades are known for bringing back old lessons, bringing back exes. You know, Mercury retrograde also causes technology issues and, you know, miscommunication in general. So it seems like there is some sort of, you know, Mercury is the planet of communication itself. So the way that things are going to be communicated is going to be altered here. Okay. So it feels like the way that you are seeing into your soul and seeing into the realm of spirit, is going to go through an upheaval and a reinvention. And especially because it's in Gemini, for some of you, it has to do with communication in general, of how you communicate to spirit. For some of you, it is also with your twin. Let's see. Ow, my right shoulder is like super duper hurting. Some of you might be dealing with a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, but we have the Three of Athens coming out in reverse. So it feels like you do not want to have heartbreak anymore, right? The Three of Athens is the Three of Swords, which traditionally has the three swords going through the heart, which is, you know, extreme heartbreak and pain, right? Loss, suffering. Because it's coming out in reverse, it's like, I don't want to go through that anymore. In this deck specifically, this is about returning home to oneself. So when there is some sort of loss or suffering, you know, you go home inside to yourself and you handle it with grace and, you know, in a spiritual way. Okay. But because it's coming out in reverse, it's telling me that you don't really feel at home in your own soul yet. Like, it doesn't feel like home. Your soul doesn't feel at home. You're getting closer. You really are. Like, your perception is shifting about the realm of spirit, but you don't feel at home yet. But the emotionality of the situation is becoming grounded with the King of Chalices. Okay, this is telling me that your own divine masculine energy is getting grounded. You're able to control your emotional body, which in turn controls your soul, right? You're in this moony energy, and the moon rules our emotions. So you're starting to see, you know, spirit, communication with spirit's going to change, be reinvented, and you're grounding yourself emotionally. Some of you, I'm hearing, you might be overindulging in food and drink and other things that you are consuming. Tell me more. The Holly King. Okay, so the Holly King, this is the Hermit. And so it looks like some of you are kind of going into hermit mode. You want to be alone. You want to take time for yourself. This might be coming up during the Mercury retrograde. It just feels like you are very kind of closed off to the world. And yeah, I mean, that's how it feels. Hold on. Tell me more about this Holly King. I'm hearing like there can't be two kings is what the King of Chalices said, We have the 10 of Thames in reverse. So some of you might be dealing with a Virgo even, or someone who has Virgo in water placements, or maybe even 2 people. But with the 10 of Thames in reverse is telling me that some sort of conversation is not over. It still needs to be had. And there's some sort of lack of protection here, if I can be honest, Cancer. You may feel like you don't have skin thick enough in order to deal with this situation right now. I don't know which one. Let's look into the light. Yeah, no. We're going to do one more. Tell me more about that. Queen of Pentacles. Okay. So this might have something to do with money. This might have something to do with a housing situation. Some sort of physical relationship is what I'm getting, but it feels like you're focused more on money rather than a relationship. I do feel you kind of withdrawing from it. And again, I feel like you're withdrawing from the divine masculine in general to kind of do your own thing. And now you're focused on like getting your coin basically. And like, look how she looks like an abuela or something, you know, like a crone energy. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to get my coins and make sure that I'm, you know, good. I'm hearing like I'm a tough nut to crack. And I feel like this withdrawal is not some sort of defensiveness. It's just like some natural shadow work that has to be done. Let's see what's going in the light. What's going on in the light? Okay, yeah, exactly. Like I was saying, shadow work. So we have dark energy coming out stuck in the light, which means that you are doing shadow work. You're bringing it to light. And we have Vespa Queen using intelligence gathering and bee revenge. It's funny because I was going to say something about that, like how there are bees everywhere. So there does seem to be some sort of hive mind energy. And, you know, as the divine feminine, it feels like all Cancers in general are really grounding their energies. This is what the divine feminine is doing right now. Okay. And again, we have like Vespa Queen. So I'm getting again that you are doing your shadow work so that you can become this Queen of Pentacles, so that you can be a queen in general. But I do feel like it's focused more on the actual physical reality. Like, I want this house, I want this car, I want to be financially stable, I want this dress, I want this, you know, like you want physical things to take care of you. And what you're finding is the more that you emotionally ground and have control, so to speak, it's not control, but have the ability to regulate your emotions and your soul, the more you're connecting with spirit, the more that you're emotionally grounding, the more physical riches you're bringing in. Okay. And so it looks like you are doing some intelligence gathering. Again, I felt like some of you might be going into rabbit holes or something, or like, you know, learning about new things. And Mercury retrograde is definitely a time to start learning about something that maybe was hard the first time. You can retry it. But it does look like you're trying to get some sort of information. And, you know, Virgo, or the Hermit, the Holly King, when the Hermit goes into hermit mode and does the shadow work, it is to find the intelligence, and the intelligence is within oneself, within one's soul. Okay, we do have bee revenge here, so it does feel like you might have some revenge stuck in your heart about whatever this shadow is. So I'm definitely kind of feeling that energy. And again, it does feel like, you know what, there's a conversation that needs to be had, but I don't have this skin like thick enough to do it right now. So I'm just gonna sit here, and I'm a nut that can't be cracked. It's like, even if this person comes towards me, I'm not even gonna say anything. And there might be something happening during Mercury retrograde about that. It says its abdomen is a honeycomb for grubs. It raises its grubs on the honey collected by comb bee. So yeah, there's this, you know, what the queen is doing for the worker bees sort of thing. So I feel like when it comes to the Queen of Pentacles, you want to be the queen bee and have, you know, people bringing you honey rather than you being a worker bee is what I'm feeling. I really feel like you want physical stability over everything, but you're finding that the way to physical stability is actually through emotional stability. Let's see, what's the, right? Because like the shadow always matches the light, right? So if you are 5D rooted, you will be 3D rooted. Let's see, what's the shadow here? Okay. This came out a couple times as well. It's going right to the 3 of Athame. We have Volcarona kind of coming out stuck, but also kind of coming out. I'm going to do it stuck because the light is matching the shadow, right? And it's Shimmering Scales and Power Hurricane. So yeah, you know, Shimmering Scales is all about, you know, Libra energy, one-on-one relationships. So it feels like you are understanding that balance of what the shadow does and how the light reacts, right? And again, like Black Moon Lilith is all about the autonomous divine feminine, which is the shadow of the divine feminine. You know, the unseen chaos of the abyss, basically. And learning how to surrender to that so that way structure forms in the 3D, right? So, and with Power Hurricane, it does feel like there is a lot of power here, and it feels like it's you and somebody else. I really am feeling. And so this is heart chakra and root chakra together. So again, it feels like the more that you are rooting, the more strength your heart is getting. It feels like you're really understanding the connection between your root chakra, which is everything that you are consuming, right? Everything that you are consuming, food, drink, your sleeping patterns, also your sense of safety, right? Media even to an extent. Anything that keeps you rooted in reality, and also your Kundalini energy, right? Your creative potential in order to create something, right? From nothing to something. That's taking from the 5D to the 3D reality. So it feels like you are understanding, you know, taking it from your root chakra and bringing it to your heart. Because when you take Kundalini and bring it to your heart and do it with love, oh boy, yeah, you're emotionally grounded because you're in that vibration of love. And yes, the coins come, honey. So awesome, Cancer. Honestly, you're looking at it pretty good, which I'm very proud of you because I know for a while it was not the easiest, but it really looks like you're like, hey, I'm learning. You're really starting to see the connection to spirit of tempering your own soul, and how, you know, being in that vibration of love and being emotionally grounded is actually what's bringing you coins, not working really hard or whatever. You know, it says, when volcanic ash darkened the atmosphere, it is said that Volcarona's fire provided a replacement for the sun. Yeah, but the only thing is that there is some sort of false light here, Cancer. So it talks about Volcarona. Oh yeah, well, Corona, right? You know, bringing darkness to the land, and that's that shadow energy. And, you know, it's a false light. It's not actually the sun, right? The wings. I'm not sure if you can hear that. Okay, well, that was Barkangel Gabriel that just started to snore. Okay, so he's even tapping in while he's sleeping. But yeah, you know, the volcanic ash brought darkness to the land, right? And now there's some sort of false light going on here. So it looks like you might even be trying to gather intelligence about this darkness and maybe what this false light is. And of course, only the hermit can truly understand that. Okay. But yeah, there's definitely a false light that you're dealing with. All right. Make sure you're drinking enough water, Cancer. And if it's not water, it should be a high vibrational color drink. You know what I mean? Something good for your chakras. Nothing muddy. All right, let's see. Okay, I don't know where that came from. Let's see what your long-term goal is. I just got like surged with a bunch of energy. Be careful of the caffeine that you are intaking. We have Leo, I will. Yeah, Leo is the sun. Leo rules the sun, right? And we had strength, which was the crone, Leo energy that came out in the cleansing ceremony. You want to have willpower in order to enact anything, right? Leo is the essence of self, to be your own sun. So it looks like you've accepted some sort of false light when really the light is, you know, the hermit's light, which is within. So you want to find your own light, your own willpower, have a really strong solar plexus where you are creative and you are creating your reality. Water element sensing. Yeah. And it feels like you, what? It's something that the Queen of Pentacles wants to talk about here with the water element sensing. So I'm hearing that, like, even though, you know, you want to be this Queen of Pentacles, you still want to be the, you know, kind and empathetic person that you are. Like, you know, becoming the Queen of Pentacles and having all those things that you want, you don't want to lose your ability to emotionally sense what is going on. It's not about hardening yourself to where it's like, okay, I'm an earth sign now or something. You know what I mean? No, you still want to be the empathic and empathetic person that you are, and still very in tune with your emotional body, even though you have complete control over your actions, no matter what you're sensing in your emotional body. Okay, I'm getting that there's one more. Tell me more about that sensing. I heard like sensei. We have Grand Cross Provoker. So you want to make a change in this world. You want to provoke change. I feel like something's happening in Mercury retrograde, South Node, life stats. Yeah. So you want to provoke some sort of change. A Grand Cross is a shape that you can find in your natal chart. So check your natal chart to see if you have that. If you are meant to be a divine provoker in this lifetime, then your natal chart will show you how and give you a map to do it. Okay, I didn't mention this earlier, I forgot, but I am doing some natal chart analysis and astrology readings if you're interested in that. But yeah, so you want to provoke things. You want to, you don't want to be timid. You don't want to be hiding in your shell, but you do have some of your karmic debts with your South Node here to take care of first. Some of you might have a South Node as part of your Grand Cross. So, you know, going through these karmic debts and things might be part of this, okay? So for some of you, the Mercury retrograde is hitting your South Node. And, you know, Mercury retrograde is going to be hitting the North Node in our solar system, which is in Gemini right now. So there's a lot going on here. I'm just going to kind of tap out. I feel like this is a specific message for someone, but, you know, my last reading was like 40 minutes and I'm not trying to go overboard here, Cancer. But yeah, there are a lot of karmic debts that you still need to release, okay? And it feels like that's what you're sensing is like, okay, yeah, I'm meant to do that, but I still have a lot that I need to work through. And, you know, South Node is 180 degrees from your North Node, right? It's a polarity, two nodes that move together 180 degrees. And your North Node is your soul mission, right? Your life's purpose during this incarnation, should you choose to go down that route. Similarly, if you go towards your rising sign, your ascendant, that helps you spiritually ascend. If you go towards your Chiron, that helps you with your healing journey and such, right? It's a map. And so, you know, you do have some life's debts to go through before you are able to become a great provoker. But you will get there. Yes, Ace of Athame, like, and so it will be is what I'm hearing. You know, this, if you've been wanting some sort of new communication to come in with someone, I'm feeling that this might have to do with like a romantic sort of situation. That is going to happen during Mercury retrograde if you're doing your work, right? For some of you, this is some sort of wish fulfillment, right? We have dandelion spirit here and mouse spirit, which has to do with like, you know, mice, they take things and like hoard them or whatever. And it feels like you've had all your wishes sort of hoarded and they're ready to come to fruition. I'm hearing like you want it to be simply just that. You make a wish and it happens. Like, I will it and so it is. That's what I'm getting. And like, you're going to sense that it just is. You know, it's like the emotional knowing that it will happen and then boom, it does. With the Green Man in reverse, I'm hearing for some of you, you don't want to give a new opportunity to someone, Lord of Shadows in reverse. You don't want some sort of new beginning anymore. Honestly, it's like, I just want to keep wishing and willing things into my life. I don't want to give anyone, you know, another chance. I don't want to be played the fool anymore. With the Lord of Shadows coming out in reverse, I'm getting that like, you don't want to have to do your shadow work either. This is the Death card in reverse. So I'm feeling like, again, it's like, I don't want to have to die and start over. And again, that's a metaphorical death, but it's like, I just want to wish it and, you know, will it, and then it will be there. Tell me more about the Green Man and the Lord of Shadows in reverse, the Earth Mother in reverse. Yeah, so some of you, the way you want to use your divine feminine energy is to just will your wishes into existence rather than to become an Earth Mother, right? Which is, you know, having children, you know, being with the Emperor, right? Some of you may not want to have like physical children. You know, it's like, I don't really need to have like so much abundance and da-da-da. I'm like feeling it's like, you know, I'm fine being the Queen of Pentacles. I don't have to have like literally everything, you know. I don't need to do my shadow work for like all that. I just want to be the Queen of Pentacles, and when I wish it, I want it to be there, sort of thing. Okay, but let's look deeper at that. Ace of Chalices in reverse, but there's an absence of love here, Cancer. Which is fine. You don't have to manifest true love in, right? You want all your wishes to be granted in the physical. But there's an absence of true love here. Let's see, what's the light energy? We have Trainer, Bills, Maintenance in reverse. So it looks like someone else is, I mean, it's weird. So it feels like you want to have this talk with someone, but you're like, you don't want this other person to be willing to work on it. But I feel like it's a reflection of you not wanting to work on it yourself. Like, I don't want to do my shadow work to get to that point, you know. And so it's like you want this other person to not work on it so that you don't have to either, sort of thing. Interesting energy, right? Trainer always means the other person. We have Samurai using Ultimate Blade and Pike. Yeah, so it's like you just want to be the winner here. It's like you want the Ultimate Blade. You want to be able to cut off the emotionality with this and kind of put their head on a pike. Oh my gosh, Cancer. Woo! Yeah, like we have Samurai, which is like samurai. I was getting like sensei, senpai. I don't know what that is, but like, yeah, you don't want this other person to work on it. You just want to cut it off. Honestly, you want to cut it off. You want this person to come back so you can cut it off instead of actually working on it with them. It says, one swing of the sword incorporated in its armor can fell any opponent. A simple glare from one of them quiets everybody. Yeah, so again, it's like you just want to be able to cut it off with anybody, basically. Anyone that's unwilling to work with you. I'm hearing you can silence them with like just a look. All right, but let's look deeper. Let's talk about the Ace of Chalices. We have Rhyhorn using Horn Drill. So this is a fighting type. So I'm hearing that you're fighting, you know, with your horn rather than, how do I want to put this? You're using your Kundalini to fighting energy. It says, strong but not too bright. This Pokemon can shatter even a skyscraper with its charging tackles. So the thing is if that's the way you want it to be, right? Like, you know, you're going to bring in tower moments. Because if you're doing this in the absence of love, true love, right, and not wanting emotional fulfillment, there is going to be some sort of tower moment that comes to you. Okay? Like, yeah, you can be strong, and, you know, this is a very strong energy, but it's not too bright to just want all your wishes to come in without love. Let's see, what's the shadow here? We have Shelter, Clamp in reverse. So you don't want to become emotionally attached to anybody. And I understand that as a long-term goal. You're not necessarily interested in becoming emotionally attached. You know, it's like, I'm just going to will anything I want into existence. Very much Lilith. Let's see. It says, clamping onto an opponent reveals its vulnerable parts. So it uses that move only as a last resort. Yeah, you don't want to become attached to anything because it triggers you and you don't want to do any more shadow work. You're like, no, I'm done. I don't want to do that anymore. You don't want your vulnerable parts to show. So in order to protect yourself, you're like, I don't want to clamp onto anyone. And again, I do feel like this is part of a karmic debt that you still have yet to overcome. So we're going to look more into that when we get into the extended. Because, I mean, I'll still get you there, Cancer, but we're going to have quite a discussion about this. All right, let's see. What would like to bring us into the extended? Work through your fears. New moon in Scorpio, right? We just had that full moon in Scorpio, which was so intense. And you are being asked to work through your fears. What sort of emotional vulnerabilities are you really afraid of here? Why do you just want to wish everything and anyone, you know, you don't want certain people to work on things because you don't want to work on them. And so you need to be able to work through your fears, and don't let your past hold you back in reverse. South Node. You're letting your past hold you back is what you're doing. And that's what's causing this. Your past is holding you back. And again, this is, you know, South Node coming out twice. This is your life's debts. These are things that can come easy to you, but you need to challenge yourself in order to be a provoker. Okay? You're letting your past hold you back. All your past fears. Let's see what angel would like to bring us into the extended. I'm hearing that you need like a great release. You know what to do. Archangel Uriel. Trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. Yes. So you know what to do. All is well. Archangel Jeremiel. Everything is happening exactly as it's supposed to, with hidden blessings that you will soon understand. Okay, so everything has happened exactly as it is meant to, right? Divine timing, divine alignment, and you are getting into alignment, and it looks like you're starting to see that. And even everything that has happened in the past is divinely aligned, and everything is good, and there are hidden blessings coming, and you will soon understand them. And I'm guessing that we're going to look deeper into that, into the extended. If you would like to follow me there, the link is in the description box below. If we part ways here, good luck with the situation. I am sending you so much love, a big hug, and a kiss on your third eye. Mwah.